Humans are just prey, Commander Zex-7 said with a dismissive flick of his upper appendage. Soft, predictable, woefully underdeveloped sensory organs. This assignment is beneath warriors of our caliber. I, Scout Hunter Krell-19, remained silent as the 6 other members of our hunting party chittered in agreement. What could I say? I was the youngest, the least experienced. My carapace hadn't even hardened to its final iridescent blue. But something about this mission felt wrong. Scout Krell, are your receptors malfunctioning? I asked for atmosphere report. Commander Zex-7 snapped, his yellow eyes narrowing to slits. Apologies, Commander. Earth atmosphere is nitrogen-oxygen mix, 78.09% and 20.95% respectively, with trace gases. Temperature at landing site, 22.3 degrees Celsius. Humidity, 68%. Perfectly within our operational parameters. I swallowed the urge to add that maybe, just maybe, we should have studied more about these humans before deciding to hunt them for sport. Listen to the little grub, giving us a full scientific breakdown. Gurgled Vash-3, our weapons specialist. We are here to hunt, not write a research paper. The others laughed, that horrible wet sound our species makes when amused. I have always hated it. Enough. Commander Zex-7 silenced them. Remember the directives of the Great Hunt. We take 3 specimens. Clean kills. No evidence. No witnesses. Glory to the first blood. Our vessel, the Needle of Dawn, settled into the thick canopy of what humans called the Amazon rainforest. An excellent hunting ground according to our preliminary scans. Remote, dense foliage, minimal technological surveillance. Perfect for our purposes. Atmospheric shields activated. Announced lower, 22, our technician. The humans won't detect our presence until we are breathing down their fragile neck stalks. I engaged my exo-camouflage, watching as my limbs blended perfectly with the surrounding vegetation. The others did the same, their forms becoming ghostly outlines, visible only to our species' unique visual spectrum. I have picked up a small settlement approximately 2.7 kilometers northeast, I reported, studying my scanner. Population, 11 humans. Isolated, minimal defenses. Commander Zex-7's mandibles clicked excitedly. Excellent. Krell, take point. Vash and Drex, flank positions. The rest, follow in standard hunting formation. We moved through the forest with practiced precision. I led the way, my specialized sensory nodes picking up every subtle shift in the environment. The skittering of local fauna, the slight changes in air pressure, the distant sounds of human voices carrying through the humid air. I can smell them already, whispered Drex-5, our most decorated hunter. Afraid. They should be. I remained silent. In truth, my receptors detected something unusual about these humans. Their biorhythms didn't register as prey fear. Instead, they emitted the steady, controlled patterns of awareness, readiness. We approached the clearing where the settlement stood, a collection of simple structures made of local materials. Solar panels glinted on several rooftops. Not as primitive as our briefing had suggested. Commander, I sub-vocalized through a neural link. These humans have more technology than expected. Perhaps we should cold feet, Scout, interrupted Vash-3. Did they not teach you at the academy that hesitation gets hunters killed? Silence, both of you, commanded Zex-7. Maintain hunting discipline. Krell, designate targets. I scanned the settlement, marking 3 humans who had separated from the main group. Targets designated. 2 larger specimens near the water collection unit. 1 smaller specimen inspecting vegetation approximately 20 meters east. Perfect, purred Commander Zex-7. Vash, take the small one. Drex, and I will handle the larger specimens. Clean kills, remember. We want intact specimens for the trophy hall. And what about the other 8 humans? I dare to ask. Once they see what we can do, they will scatter in terror. Zex-7 replied confidently. Predictable prey behavior. We will pick them off one by one. But our directive specifies 3 specimens only, I reminded him. Commander Zex-7's eyes swiveled toward me, his contempt evident. The directive says 3 specimens minimum, grub. Have you never participated in a proper hunt? The rest are recreational. The hunting party dispersed into position. I remained at my observation post, monitoring the humans through my scanner. Something still didn't feel right. The humans moved with purpose, with a coordination that seemed almost practiced. In position came Vash's subvocalization. This small human is examining plants, completely unaware. Too easy. Take the shot, ordered Zex-7. I watched as Vash-3 raised his particle rifle, aiming at the smaller human who was crouched among the vegetation. The weapon hummed softly as it charged. For the glory of the hive, Vash whispered. The particle beam flashed, silent, deadly, perfectly calibrated for a clean kill, and somehow missed. The human dropped to the ground the instant before the beam would have connected, rolling sideways and coming up with something in its hands. Impossible, hissed Vash. Weapons. The humans have weapons. I shouted through the neural link as I realized what I was seeing. The small human raised a projectile weapon and fired directly at Vash's position. The loud crack of gunfire shattered the forest's quiet. Vash's exo-camouflage flickered as the bullet penetrated his shoulder carapace. I'm hit. How? They shouldn't be able to see me. Ambush. It's an ambush. Commander Zex-7 roared. All hunters engage. Kill them all. Chaos erupted in the clearing. The remaining humans emerged from their structures, all armed, all moving with military precision. These weren't simple prey. They were waiting for us. Thermal imaging goggles. I realized with horror, noticing the devices strapped to the humans' faces. They can see our heat signatures. Impossible. Drex-5 snarled. Our intelligence said they were primitive researchers. I didn't have time to point out the obvious flaw in our intelligence as gunfire erupted from multiple positions. Our hunting party scattered, taking cover among the trees and undergrowth. Retreat to the ship, ordered Commander Zex-7, his confident tone now replaced with barely controlled panic. Emergency extraction. Commander, Vash is down. Reported lower, 22. The humans are converging on his position. Leave him. Every hunter for themselves. The commander's words violated every tenet of our hunting code. But fear makes cowards of even the most vaunted warriors that I crouched behind a massive tree trunk, processing this disastrous turn of events. Through my scanner, I could see the humans methodically moving through the forest, hunting us with an efficiency that was terrifying. They communicated via small devices, coordinating their movements, cutting off our escape routes toward the ship. These aren't researchers. I subvocalized to anyone still listening. They're soldiers, waiting for us. Impossible, came Drex's strained reply. How would they know we were coming? A realization hit me like a plasma burst. We are not the first hunting party they have encountered. The implications were staggering. How many of our kind had these humans already captured or killed? How much had they learned about our technology, our biology, our weaknesses? A human voice called out, unnervingly close to my position. We have got another one pinned down over here. East sector, large tree with a split trunk. They were talking about me that I had 3 options: fight, flee, or surrender. Fighting meant certain death against their superior numbers. Fleeing toward the ship meant running into their carefully laid trap. That left surrender, a concept so foreign to our hunting culture that we had no protocol for it. To be captured alive was worse than death. The dishonor would extend to my entire genetic line. But I wanted to live. Commander, I subvocalized. I believe surrender may be our only. Traitor, came the immediate response. No hunter surrenders. We die with honor. A moment later, I heard Commander Zex-7's death screech echoing through the forest, followed by human cheers. 0.5 of us left. Then 4, as Nez-8's life signs winked out on my scanner. The humans were getting closer. I could hear their footsteps, smell their strange scent. Not fears I'd expected, but something else. Excitement? Determination? Hello there, came a calm voice from behind me. Don't move, please. These rifles are calibrated specifically for your exoskeletons. I slowly turned to find 3 humans aiming their weapons at me. The central figure, clearly their leader, was a female with short gray hair and eyes that reflected a lifetime of combat. Remarkable camouflage, she said, studying me through her thermal goggles. But not quite perfect, is it? We can see the heat you can't hide. I remained motionless, my translator processing her words. We can do this one of two ways, she continued. You can try to fight, like your friends did, and we will add your corpse to our collection. Or you can come with us, answer some questions, and maybe, just maybe, live through this day. Your choice. Pride demanded I fight. Training demanded I fight. Everything I had ever been taught demanded I fight and die honorably. But curiosity, that dangerous, heretical trait that had always made me different, urged me to learn more. How did you know we were coming? I asked, my translator converting my clicks and whistles into human speech. The woman smiled, a gesture I recognized from our limited cultural studies as potentially indicating satisfaction. Smart one, aren't you? Different from the others. They just threatened and died. She gestured to her companions to maintain their aim while she took a small step closer. You are the 7th hunting party we have intercepted this year. Did your superiors not find it strange that none of the others returned? That no trophies made it back to whatever collection you keep? 7 hunting parties. All lost. The revelation staggered me. The first one caught us by surprise, she admitted. Killed 3 of my people before we understood what we were dealing with. But we learned. We adapted. We studied the technology we salvaged. And we set traps for the others we knew would come. How? I managed to ask. Your ships emit a particular radiation signature when they enter our atmosphere. Undetectable to most of our instruments, but we have created specialized equipment now. We knew you were coming 3 days ago. 3 days. They've been waiting for us for 3 days that a crackle of gunfire in the distance signaled the fall of another hunter. 2 left, said one of the other humans, checking a device. This one and one more trying to reach their ship. The woman never took her eyes off me. Time to decide, alien, die like your friends, or come with us and help us understand why your kind is so determined to hunt humans. The choice felt impossible, death or dishonor. But then another thought occurred to me, one that would have been unthinkable before today. What if everything we've been told about humans was wrong? What if, in our arrogance, we had severely underestimated this species? Someone needed to return to the hive with this information. Someone needed to stop more hunting parties from being sent to their deaths. I slowly lowered my weapons to the ground. Wise choice, said the woman, though her weapons remained trained on me. I'm Colonel Sarah Blackwood, Earth Defense Force, and you are now officially a prisoner of war. Va, not a hunt, a war. The distinction sent chills through my nervous system. My designation is Scout Hunter Krell-19, I replied. Well, Krell, she said, gesturing for her soldiers to secure me. Welcome to Earth. You are about to learn why humans have remained apex predators on this planet for thousands of years. As they bound my limbs with restraints clearly designed for my species anatomy, I realized with growing horror that we hadn't been the hunters at all. We had been the prey. The human transport vehicle rumbled over uneven terrain, jostling my restrained body against its metal interior. They placed some sort of dampening collar around my neck appendage, neutralizing my natural camouflage abilities. How quickly they'd adapted to our biology. How efficiently they'd turned our own technological advantages against us. Comfortable back there, Krell? Colonel Blackwood called from the front compartment, not bothering to hide the sarcasm in her voice. Don't worry, we are almost at the facility. Then the real fun begins. Fun. The translation matrix in my head struggled with the context. There was nothing enjoyable about this situation, for either of us, I would have thought. Yet the other humans chuckled, sharing some understanding that eluded me. The last one of your kind lasted 3 weeks before its biological functions ceased, continued Blackwood conversationally. Let's see if you can break the record. I remained silent. What could I say? That I was different? That I hadn't wanted this hunt? That I questioned our intelligence reports? Excuses wouldn't matter to these humans who had watched my kind murder their companions. Not feeling chatty, she pressed. That's all right. You'll be talking soon enough. The vehicle stopped, and harsh light flooded the compartment as the rear doors swung open. We had arrived at some sort of military installation nestled deep in the forest, expertly camouflaged with local vegetation and what appeared to be reflective paneling designed to confuse aerial surveillance. How long had this been here? How many resources had the humans devoted to capturing and studying us? 6 armed guards escorted me into the facility, their weapons trained on the vulnerable junctions of my exoskeleton. They knew exactly where to aim. They knew exactly how to kill me. "Welcome to Echo Base," said Colonel Blackwood, gesturing around the entrance hall where human soldiers worked at various stations. "Doesn't look like much, but it's the front line in humanity's silent war against your kind." "Va, there was that word again. This isn't a war." I finally spoke. "These are sanctioned hunting expeditions. Ceremonial. Cultural." Blackwood stopped walking and turned to face me fully, her expression incredulous. "Ceremonial? You are harvesting humans as trophies, and you have the audacity to call it ceremonial. The Great Hunt is a rite of passage for save it." She cut me off with a sharp gesture. "Tell it to Dr. Patel. He's been dying to have a philosophical discussion with one of you." They led me deeper into the facility, through security checkpoints and scanner arrays undoubtedly designed to detect any hidden technology or biological weapons I might be carrying. The corridors gradually transformed from military utilitarian to something more resembling a research facility. Clean white walls, sealed doors with biometric locks, observation windows revealing laboratories filled with equipment I recognized with growing dread. They had pieces of our technology laid out on examination tables. Particle rifles disassembled, exo-camouflage units connected to diagnostic equipment, and worse, preserved body parts from my species. Limbs, sensory organs, cranial cavities open to expose neural networks. "Fascinating, isn't it?" came a new voice. A male human emerged from one of the laboratories, removing translucent gloves from his hands. "Your species' biology is remarkable. The neural density alone is unlike anything we have encountered. Krell, meet Dr. Arjun Patel, head of our xenobiology division," said Blackwood. "He will be handling your debriefing." The doctor studied me with unnerving intensity. "Younger than the others we have captured. Carapace coloration suggests you haven't completed your final molt." "Fascinating. Dr. Patel has a particular interest in your kind," Blackwood explained, her tone light but her eyes hard. "Ever since your friends took his wife during the first hunting party." My secondary heart fluttered with apprehension. This human had personal reasons to hate my species. "Colonel, please," Dr. Patel said softly. "Let's maintain professional decorum." He turned back to me. "Yes, I lost someone dear to me, but that has only intensified my scientific curiosity. Understanding is the path to survival. After all, they brought me to a circular room with a single chair in the center, modified to accommodate my alien physiology. Restraints closed around my limbs automatically as they secured me in place. The walls were lined with scanning equipment, recording devices, and what I recognized with horror as neural probes. "Now then," said Dr. Patel, taking a seat opposite me. "Let's begin with the basics. Your home world, your species designation, your social structure, and most importantly, why you consider humans appropriate hunting targets." I stayed silent, cycling through my options. Revealing such information would violate every code of conduct I'd been taught since emergence. But what choice did I have? These humans already knew so much. They'd captured and studied 7 hunting parties before mine. What more damage could I really do? "We call ourselves the Zekthorn," I finally said. "Your translators render it as Sky Hunters." "How wonderfully dramatic," remarked Blackwood from her position by the door to Dr. Patel shot her a look of mild reproach before returning his attention to me. "In your homeworld, you wouldn't be able to pronounce it, and your star charts wouldn't recognize it. It's far. Interstellar travel capabilities," muttered Dr. Patel, making notes on a transparent tablet. "Yet you hunt with particle weapons rather than simply obliterating us from orbit. Curious prioritization of technology." I couldn't help myself. That wouldn't be sporting. The words hung in the air, and I immediately regretted them. Blackwood's expression darkened dangerously. "Sporting?" she repeated, taking a step forward. "You treat human lives as some sort of game?" Dr. Patel raised a hand to calm her. "Colonel, please." He turned back to me. "Continue, Krell. Why humans specifically? There must be countless species across the galaxy. Why travel so far just to hunt us?" The answer was so obvious to me that I struggled to articulate it in terms they would understand. "You are perfect prey," I said finally. "Intelligent enough to make the hunt challenging, but not advanced enough to pose a real threat. Or so we thought." "Not advanced enough?" Colonel Blackwood laughed, a harsh sound without humor. "Yet here you are, restrained and at our mercy. A miscalculation, I admitted. Our intelligence was flawed, or deliberately misleading, suggested Dr. Patel, leaning forward with sudden intensity. Tell me, Krell, how many hunting parties has your civilization sent to Earth? Total, not just the ones we have intercepted. I hesitated. The true number would horrify them. 23 in this cycle, I said quietly. Cycle. Patel caught the qualifier immediately. Define cycle. What do you call years? But the hunts have been ongoing for longer. How much longer? Demanded Blackwood that I look between them, realizing the gulf of understanding that separated our species. The first Zekthorn scouts found Earth during what you call your Bronze Age. The hunting grounds were established approximately 3,000 of your years ago. The silence that followed was absolute. Even the machines seemed to pause in their humming. 3,000 years, repeated Dr. Patel, his voice barely above a whisper. You have been hunting humans for 3,000 years. Not continuously, I clarified, as if that somehow made it better. The hunting grounds, Earth, are visited in cycles. When one region becomes too aware, too dangerous, we simply shift to another. Your planet has many isolated populations. Had, corrected Blackwood coldly. Past tense. Before globalization. Before worldwide communication networks. Understanding dawned on me. That's why the hunts have become more dangerous recently. Your species has become more connected. And the creatures you have taken over the millennia? Asked Dr. Patel. The thousands of humans who vanished without explanation. Trophies, I said simply. For the Great Halls. The most impressive specimens are preserved, displayed with honor. Colonel Blackwood made a sound somewhere between disgust and rage. Honor? You preserve humans like taxidermy animals and call it honor. I couldn't explain to them how different our conception of honor was, how the preservation of worthy prey was the highest respect we could pay them. Their moral framework couldn't accommodate such understanding. Dr. Patel was making rapid notes on his tablet. This explains so much. The legends, the myths across cultures, demons that steal people in the night, predators that can appear and disappear at will. He looked up at me with a new expression, something like academic excitement mixed with horror. Your kind gave rise to countless human myths about monsters. We are not monsters, I protested. We are hunters. It is our way. Your way has terrorized our species for millennia, snapped Blackwood. And now it ends. A cold certainty settled in my neural network. They were going to extract every bit of information from me and then use it to strike back against my people. This wasn't just about stopping the hunts anymore. This was about revenge. What do you plan to do? I asked, trying to keep my vocal membranes from betraying my fear. Dr. Patel and Colonel Blackwood exchanged a look. Show him, the colonel said finally. Dr. Patel touched his tablet, and one wall of the room transformed into a display screen. It showed an enormous underground hangar where humans in protective suits swarmed over. No, it couldn't be. That's one of our vessels, I said, mandibles clicking in shock. A Harvester-class ship, captured intact 3 months ago, confirmed Blackwood with evident pride. Your hunting parties aren't the only visitors we have been receiving. We shot this one down when it entered our atmosphere. The implications were staggering. A Harvester-class ship contained technology far beyond what a hunting vessel like the Needle of Dawn carried. Faster-than-light engines, quantum positioning systems, weapons that could level cities. You can't possibly understand how to operate it, I said, hoping desperately that this was true. Not yet, admitted Dr. Patel. But we are learning quickly, especially with the help of your ship's navigational systems, which conveniently contain detailed star charts showing the location of the Zekthorn homeworld. My respiratory system seized momentarily. That's impossible. The charts are encrypted. We're encrypted, corrected Blackwood with a satisfied smile. Dr. Patel has a particular talent for puzzles. Your neural structure is remarkably similar to your computer systems, added Patel. Once we understood how your brains process information, cracking your encryption was simply a matter of applying the same principles. They were bluffing. They had to be. Even our own secondary species struggle to comprehend Zekthorn technology, and they have been serving us for generations. You are lying, I said, with more confidence than I felt. The doctor. Patel sighed and touched his tablet again. The display changed to show a star chart I recognized with nauseating certainty. Our home system. The 7 worlds of the Zekthorian Empire orbiting our dual suns. "We call this Operation Reversal," said Colonel Blackwood, watching my reaction closely. "Poetic, don't you think? The hunted becoming the hunters. You would never reach our worlds," I said desperately. "The defensive systems alone would what? Destroy one ship? Perhaps. But we have learned something crucial from studying your kind, Krell." Blackwood leaned down until her face was level with mine. "Humans are exceptionally good at reverse engineering technology and exceptionally motivated when it comes to survival. We are not planning an invasion," clarified Dr. Patel, his tone more measured. "That would be impractical with our current capabilities. No, we have something much simpler in mind." "A message," said Blackwood, "delivered in person. Stop hunting humans, or we start hunting you." It was almost laughable. One ship, crewed by humans, threatening the entire Zekthorian Empire? They couldn't possibly understand the scale of the forces they would be challenging. "Your species has enjoyed millennia of technological superiority," continued Dr. Patel, seemingly reading my thoughts. "It's made you complacent, arrogant. You assume that because you have been hunting us for thousands of years, the dynamic can never change. But already has," added Blackwood. "7 hunting parties captured or destroyed. A harvester ship in our possession. And now you, providing us with even more information. I have told you nothing of value," I insisted. "You don't need to," said Dr. Patel mildly. "Your neural structure will do the talking for us." He gestured to the equipment surrounding us, and I now recognized with horror that these weren't just scanners. They were neural extractors designed to pull information directly from my brain matrix. "Don't worry," he said, noting my distress. "The process isn't lethal. Painful, yes, but you will survive. We are not like you, Krell. We don't kill for sport." "Much," added Blackwood with a cold smile. As the machines hummed to life around me, I realized the true extent of our miscalculation. We had seen humans as mere prey for millennia, never noticing their rapid technological advancement, never considering that each hunting party that failed to return might be providing them with more knowledge, more technology, more understanding of us. "One last question before we begin," said Dr. Patel, adjusting controls on his tablet. "Does your leadership know that these hunting expeditions have been compromised? That humans are now aware of your existence and actively capturing your technology?" I hesitated, but there seemed little point in deception now. "No, failed hunts are not unprecedented. The assumption would be that the parties encountered unexpected natural hazards or prey that was more challenging than anticipated." "Perfect," said Blackwood with satisfaction. "Then our arrival will come as quite a surprise." The neural extractors descended from the ceiling, positioning themselves around my cranial chamber. I felt the first tingling contact as they aligned with my neural pathways. "For what it's worth," said Dr. Patel, almost gently, "I believe this will ultimately benefit both our species. The cycle of hunting and killing can end. Perhaps something new can begin." "Like what?" I managed to ask as the extractors began their work, sending pulses of energy through my neural network. "Diplomatic relations," he suggested. "Trade, cultural exchange, the things civilized species do when they meet." "Or extinction," added Blackwood, her voice hard. "Their choice." Pain blossomed through my consciousness as the extractors began their data retrieval in earnest. Through the haze of agony, a strange thought formed in my mind, one that would have been heretical among my people just days ago. What if the humans were right? What if this ending was necessary? What if the Zekthorian had been wrong all along? As my knowledge, memories, and thoughts were pulled from my mind bit by excruciating bit, I found myself hoping that the humans would succeed in their mission, that they would reach our homeworld, that they would deliver their message. Because what the Zekthorian had never understood, what I had begun to grasp only in defeat, was that humans weren't just prey that occasionally fought back. They were survivors, adapters, beings who turned disadvantages into strengths. And now, they were coming for us. The last thing I remember before the neural extraction overwhelmed my consciousness was Colonel Blackwood leaning down to whisper in my auditory receptor. "When we reach your homeworld, Krell, I will make sure to tell your leaders exactly who gave us the keys to find them. The hunt is over, and you helped end it." Through the pain, I felt something unexpected, not shame, but a glimmer of pride. Perhaps I would be remembered after all, not as a failed hunter, but as the catalyst for a new era where humans were no longer prey. An era where the hunters became the hunted. 6 months later, I stood on the observation deck of the renamed harvester ship, now called the Retribution, watching as Earth grew smaller behind us. Dr. Patel had kept his word. I had survived the neural extraction, though the process had left me changed. Parts of my memory were fragmented, certain neural pathways permanently altered. They had kept me alive for a purpose. I was to be their translator, their cultural guide, their proof that the Zex-7 were not invincible. Having second thoughts? Asked Colonel Blackwood, joining me at the viewport. She wore a sleek uniform emblazoned with a new insignia, a human silhouette standing over a fallen alien hunter. No, I replied truthfully. This journey was inevitable from the moment our species first encountered yours. Poetic, she remarked with a raised eyebrow. The neural extraction seems to have given you a philosophical bent. Perhaps it had. Or perhaps witnessing the fall of my hunting party had awakened something that had always been dormant within me. An understanding that no species can hunt another intelligent being forever without consequences. The Zex-7 will not surrender easily. I warned her, not for the first time. They will see your mission as an unprecedented insult. Good, she replied simply. Let them feel insulted. Let them feel hunted. Let them know what it's like to be prey. As the Retribution's engines engaged, and we accelerated toward the jump point that would begin our long journey to my homeworld, I found myself wondering how this story would end. Would there be war? Extinction? Or could there truly be the diplomatic solution that Dr. Patel hoped for? One thing was certain. The great hunt was over. The humans were no longer prey. They had become something far more dangerous. They had become hunters, and the Zex-7, for the first time in their long history, were about to know what it felt like to be hunted.